And now we're getting another huge game, although it might be a little rough for Cosmic Calamities since they just played. They're going to play against S.A.D.B.O.I.S, who have just had an interesting season here. So I'm NVNYC here, joined by Mystic. And Mystic, tell me what you think we're going to see here. Give me some stats. Give me anything you want right now. I gotta hear it.
Envy, this is going to be an interesting series for sure. So keep in mind that in the regular season, Cosmic Calamities did take the win over S.A.D.B.O.I.S. I was actually playing in that game for S.A.D.B.O.I.S myself, but it was Cosmic Calamities that got the win. But going into this game right here, we have Cosmic Calamities coming off a 2-0 loss to Demons Raw, and on a map they just lost on, running it immediately back. They don't have the time to reset how everything was going. You know, normally they'd be playing the second loser series, but I think due to some scheduling issues, they had agreed to move up their match, which means they got to play back-to-back matches, and they got to play against a long-time powerhouse here. And this is a map that I will say can go either way. It's a super chaotic map. The match goes super quick here, so I don't think it means Cosmic Calamities is out of it, but I gotta see them step it up, mental reset, lock in, and go right into this game if they want a chance at winning.
No, I agree with everything you just said there. Honestly, it's like the mental reset is something that any coach or any player would talk to you a lot about, as it is a big deal to make sure that you guys are ready to go into the next match. And it's going to be a little rough here with some awkward momentum that you're lacking, basically. And yeah, like you're saying, this is definitely a very volatile map. The water cannons make things a little bit crazy here, though. But we'll see as much as we can get. Let's see what they can do with maybe some momentum. You know, they're warm. At least one thing you can say is they're warmer than perhaps any other team because they just played. But getting on into it again, we have all 6 players taking Stagger Swagger right here over that Timeless Creator. So it's going to be plot back right into the pool on this first point. No points taken just yet, though. Already in overtime. Nice Natty with that strike shot here. An ult coming out from Bells. Can't seem to land that one just yet, though. 3Z Breezy trying to get it on in there, but 2v1 by y'all and Vaughn. Also, Natty keeping it clutch again, holding this one. The water cannon comes up once again for S.A.D.B.O.I.S. See if they can make the greatest use of it right now. Flipping right on into it, onto Bell's hand. Natty, nice with the barrier beam, keeps this one alive here for Vaughn. Oh, to put up just enough pressure. Bells walks in, grabs it. Nice teamwork there. Actually, a lot of distraction for Danny to deal with. They're going to take their first point in NASL Season 5 playoffs. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, Vaughn there with a great rune play. Something that happened earlier in that round that I wanted to point out is when the cannon is active, the enemy cannon, Rune can just place a pillar in the middle of it, and the core will just constantly keep hitting the pillar and won't go around it at all, which means, oh my goodness, what a fast, okay, didn't end up leading to a point. But with the way Rune works and summoning his creation, he can just generate pretty much a full core flip, depending on what awakenings you have. But he can, for the most part, generate a metric ton of energy for free every time the enemy puts a cannon up, and at the same time denying them the use of their cannon.
Right, that's actually pretty huge, right? It's like you think about being able to deny the ball, like going anywhere from the cannon, but yeah, he also gets a ton of energy from it. So Ruin has a pretty good advantage on this map there. So they're going to take their second point here. S.A.D.B.O.I.S looking pretty good so far. We actually do see the mix here of Slick Kicks and Magnetized Souls on both teams, which is pretty interesting as we see Magnetized kind of the fan favorite as of recent, though. S.A.D.B.O.I.S did pick this map, so they're looking pretty good right now as they are up 2 here. Trying to push it on the bottom side here. A nice flurry to try to get it through. Does get the energy for the flip, but getting kind of knocked around now. 3Z Breezy certainly going to be the target of the kill. Banished, completely destroyed from a Banish Anomaly combo. Kind of Rune's specialty, though, when you get to banish people who are staggered, shattered, or whatever. It's a really easy kill with that Anomaly. And we're trying to get a 2v1 here, but Cardbox got some really good positioning to make it sure that this pass does not happen and gets a lot of pressure off Natty.
Yeah, and it's surprising that he found the kill, especially with the Stagger Swagger start. You have a lot of focus damage if you want to be able to find those kills on this start. Stagger Swagger does not mean that you'll live forever. It just means you have to be a little bit more coordinated in the damage you deal. Oh, but a great set of passes, and then dash punch over to 3Z Breezy, gets it down, barrier open, and then the ultimate from Juliet to finish it off.
Nice, yeah, really good combo there. And from what I know about Stagger Swagger is it doesn't actually increase the time it takes to regenerate. It just increases your regeneration like when you are in the regeneration state, it
Correct.
is increased by this whatever. So you still have that like 2 seconds, so it's like it's really good for keeping yourself alive. But if you keep getting knocked around, it gets reset and it's rough. Breezy Breezy, unfortunately, also getting knocked around a bunch. Staggered, loses their flip there, which is a little bit rough. Tries to get ball again, but B.O.I.S is just fast enough to grab it there. Cardbox almost had something going there, but Vaughn really just being so interruptive here with these rune pillars. Rune, again, kind of a fan favorite. Recently,
beautiful
a triple
banish.
Yeah, that was beautiful to make sure that that barrier goes down. And now it's so much easier to score. It's like metric, like you're saying, metric easier time to score because you get the water cannon, the whole barrier's gone. I mean, half the map. You can die on the corners of this map, as you guys have probably experienced before, once the barrier is gone. So it's really weird. Either way, we're going to have S.A.D.B.O.I.S grabbing their first set here, and it's going to be B.O.I.S grabbing the first awakening.
So taking a look at what we have here, I think B.O.I.S is either going to go for... Honestly, I love pancakes, but I'm actually surprised he took it here because I'm not sure how quickly you can stack it up on this map in particular. But I guess Zentaro has so many multi-hits that he stacks it either way. Vaughn looking for the hot shot, gets denied over by Natty, and then takes Among Titans. This is something that I personally rank as one of Rune's best awakenings. It's really good on midfielders in general, but it's amazing on Rune because a lot of the time, Rune rarely strikes the ball himself. He's just using his speed to reposition to get a better pillar or anomaly placement. So the downside of losing some size is barely a downside when 15% movement speed is such an amazing upside. Honestly, you don't even care that you give your team size too. It just says 15% movement speed for some downside, and that is good enough to take.
Yeah, definitely a really good awakening for the midfielders specifically, too. Just a lot of speed. You can see him already outrunning Breezy Breezy right there, getting the ball. Man, speed on the midfielder is a really great stat to have. Makes a lot of pressure on the opposing goalie here. But you're a little smaller. Your strike wars get a little awkward sometimes when everyone's kind of right on top of each other. But either way, you do make up for that in speed here. We're going to not have a barrier go down just yet, though. Breezy Breezy maybe trying to wait out this ult. B.O.I.S dealing a lot of damage to Cardbox and almost getting that barrier, but the angle was a few degrees off here. Cardbox spending the Giga just to get on in there. The dash punch doesn't work out. Y'all actually gets a strike in there real early to make sure that one stays alive. Breezy has a whole lot of pressure here. Yeah, that flip's certainly going to be enough to get it. Y'all spending the primary to make sure that we keep control here. B.O.I.S going to try to knock Breezy around to make sure that Y'all doesn't get 2v1'd here by Cardbox and 3Z, and now they actually have a little bit of control as the barrier goes down as well, and this could be another point here for S.A.D.B.O.I.S.
Oh, tried to go for the great setup there with the anomaly on Rune, but denied by Natty, and you can see how fast everyone is, especially when Caleb, where you already lose, is holding... Oh my goodness, but the barrage coming through. Not enough to stop. Mako doesn't have any anti-stuffing abilities there, so a barrage is plenty to push things through. While Mako is really good at being a defensive melee goalie, those multi-hitting moves like the Kai Barrage will find their way through.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say that Mako's secondary might be able to hold off the barrage, but it does have a pretty long cooldown and is useful in a lot of different spots. So it's going to be on cooldown in general a lot of the time, speeding up the team and making it a little bigger there as B.O.I.S going to grab that barrier nicely on the corner. Y'all just can survive this moment here. Cardbox has the flip as well to make sure that that barrier is certainly going down here. They got the water cannon though, but not too much pressure. B.O.I.S tries to get fast, but we do stack flips there. See if they can make something happen here with their own water cannon, but no, we're going to survive that situation. But a huge strike war from 3Z Breezy over Y'all is going to result in a barrier, or sorry, a point of their own here. And they not 1 point off from taking this set, and they need a little bit of motivation here to keep this one going.
Yeah, a great set of strikes from 3Z. He's honestly playing amazing right now, and everyone's holding it down, but it is still really hard to stop the pressure that's coming out from all the movement speed that S.A.D.B.O.I.S has. But as I say, that barrier falls over, trying to get the KO onto Cardbox, isn't able to find it, uses the secondary to try to find it as well. Unable to see it all the way through. Cardbox going to use that Stagger Swagger to regenerate all the way back up here. And 3Z looking for the play, but I think those set of hit stuns might have protected it. I spoke too soon. That is a 3-0 set going over to Calamities.
Actually, really great set there, though. 3Z had a lot of control with the flip into dash punch. Really difficult to get that out of there. You probably have to have like a literal frame-perfect strike or something, but either way, nice work there from Cosmic Calamities, keeping this one nice and close. 3Z Breezy, first one to grab an awakening here. What's going to be? Maybe we're thinking about 1-2 punch, just kind of good on Julie. Okay, everyone's kind of holding off here, though. We do have a perfect form landing onto Cardbox, though. Indeed, taking the 1-2 punch here. Extra special landing onto Bells. I've heard Bells talk about this before on their stream before. The extra specials on Taro is a little underrated here. We're going to have Vaughn go for Sparks, which is fine. 1 Spark on the board, or 2 Sparks on this board, exactly. We have Natty grab the missile prop, which is okay for Asher. It gives you kind of like a half-field presence there with your ult, at least, which is kind of cool. And y'all getting Super Surge, making drum and bass just as more effective as ever, which is, honestly, you'll see it. When it shows up, you can feel it as the opposing team.
Yeah, and I really like what they did, what Calamities did in the draft there, to wait until it went over to Cardbox to allow Cardbox to get the perfect form, since it's a little bit better on him than it is on a 3Z. On that Kai, and then it allows 3Z to pick up the 1-2 punch afterwards. So good team coordination there in the draft phase. Trying to get a double pillar KO onto 3Z, but messes up the anomaly placement a little bit, so 3Z does not get pushed away over there. Pillar comes out, honestly, a little dangerous with that pillar over there. Could have screwed up, you already lose in that moment, but it did not matter. Core got brought over right back to 3Z Breezy, who scored without using his energy burst.
Yeah, 3Z having the build different on there gives them a little bit more range as well on their dash punch. You just get stunned a little bit earlier than you normally would when she has that size, so it's going to be even harder to like win certain strike boards in that situation. Nice surviving the barrage there. We've seen y'all already lose to barrage a couple different times. All right, Natty had to evade there, but they do get the barrier either way. Giga almost actually knocks y'all off the map, and Snare Drum is not going to be enough to hold it, but we got, oh man, the full offensive pressure here. Bells coming in from the top, Vaughn from the middle, the cannon from the bottom, and it was just a really tough situation there for Calamities, and that's certainly a point for BOIS, and we are super duper even right now. It's nice to see it.
I had to double check if that if that Giga was enhanced in any way, and it was not. I was surprised at how much knockback it had.
Yeah, I looked.
But yeah, I mean, great attempt from Calamities, but wasn't enough. Here comes the onslaught from Bells and Vaughn, able to get the barrier, find the KO onto Cardbox, and now trying to set up a play onto here. Cannon comes out. Just a simple set of strikes makes it through Natty. No abilities up to defend. And Bells, with all that movement speed, each time he strikes, I believe he goes up to 726 speed. This is before drum and bass, by the way.
Okay, yeah, we're the slick kicks, right? Not seen all that much often anymore, but they are 30%. That's kind of a bit there. Okay, Vaughn tries to get a nice pillar, a double, or banish double pillar combo. If you do it right, you can actually move them 2 pillars of distance and then knock them off the map. But it is a little hard to get the perfect setup. Either way, though, 3Z Breezy trying to approach from the top here with this flip. Natty also has a flip to hold off here, but the barrier beam is good enough to save this situation. But, oh man, the rune pillars just really put on a lot of pressure. Even when you think you have just a second, you guys have won the situation. A rune pillar just comes up, and it's like, you gotta defend again, you gotta defend again every time. So rune has been picked so often recently, and I wouldn't, like, just because Rune can, like, block the water cannon, I still would say this is a super good stage for Rune, but maybe I'm capping right now, as they're just doing so well.
So, for Rune specifically, just because I have a billion games on this character, this is one of the maps that I actually, oh my goodness, S.A.D.B.O.I.S with a quick 3-1. But yeah, this map is a map that I did not like on Rune until the shift to Maxwell's happened.
Okay.
And with the Maxwell shift, you kind of just patrol up and down that midfield line, and because of the way the barriers are shaped, you actually tend to stand in the midfield way more. Because you're aiming for that bottom right corner a lot of the time, you can just sit in the midfield and your pillars can reach a lot of the area, while your brawler sits kind of like north of the barrier. And that means that you just get to sit on permanent Maxwell speed all the time.
Okay, that's actually interesting to note. I usually am playing goalie, and it feels hard to play goalie Rune on this map. I don't have a lot of defense there.
Your pillar can't fully cover the barrier, right? Which is something that, unlike S.A.D.B.O.I.S or even Z.A.B, Rune can do way better. And you can see there, almost got the double pillar combo, or we just kind of refer to it as the push combo, but slightly off. You have to do it pretty much perfectly if you want to kill with Rune. And if you misplace the alignment even slightly, the opponent will just live every single time. But you saw it there. That was as close as Vaughn has gotten, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He is also struck with the same flu that I'm recovering from right now.
Oh, is he?
Yep, he is in his, he's NyQuil'd up. Who knows how much how much medicine is inside his veins at this exact moment. I gave him a picture of Drunk Rock Lee. He's fighting a different battle than all of us.
Word, gotcha. We did see in that last draft, though, Vaughn grabbing his second spark, which is pretty nice, too. Getting a little bit of extra speed here. Not many other awakenings to note, really. Peak performance on Bells and the more speed, I suppose. Everything else about average, though. As they're going to actually grab the barrier here from Cosmic Calamities. Natty's going to try to defend that one with the strike shot. They have their water cannon up. Tries to hold it with the flurry. It actually can stop the core, it looks like, but did end up falling out just at the last second there, though. Natty against Bells here. Natty against Vaughn and Bells. Cardbox getting in there to help and does a great job of it. The midfielder's job. Okay, almost 3Z getting a kill on Vaughn really close there. Now they have a bottom push. Kind of a lone 1v3. 3Z just in the mix there, triangulated by the opposing team. A flip from Y'all might actually have been necessary there. Big,
oh my goodness,
huge banish, though, but again, sort of misaligning the pillars. In fact, the bottom one didn't really even seem on point at all. But it is a tough situation, especially when you get more than one banish, to see who you're going for. They can't get enough. Okay, they actually do get a kill here, maybe with the help of that flip, and now this is their chance. It is overtime. It's still a little dangerous to see if they can get this barrier. Oh, no.
Oh, but hits it back. I mean, I have to see that one again. Did Natty just... Yeah, Natty just hit it right back into the pillar.
Yeah, that is quite unfortunate there. The pillar... The angle they hit the pillar was just an angle that it would go in the goal. Usually, if the pillar is like that and you do a perpendicular onto the wall, it'll just come right back to you. But sometimes it goes directly in the goal, and you can't believe it.
Hey, and now it's a 2-0 lead on what could be match point for S.A.D.B.O.I.S. Flip comes out. Carbox at least manages to clear it out here. Bell's looking for the rush to try to at least set up a play on the net. Isn't able to find it. Dash punch comes out from 3Z. And they do get the barrier there, so Calamities can find the comeback right now. Banish comes through. I think Vaughn has given up on trying to go for Banish kills, but he takes his life to the other side of the pool, going a little bit too deep, can't swim. And while he is down drowning, Calamities managed to score.
Yeah, Vaughn is definitely underwater right now, even possibly in real life with all this NyQuil in him. But we'll see if we can, we got a lot more game coming out here. It's surprisingly, though, Cardbox's build here is actually just got a ton of cooldown. Prime Time with Twin Drive and Perfect Form. It's a surprising amount of cooldown, a surprising amount of abilities that they have to knock around here, though. We see a couple of barrages getting these barriers, and it's really useful to see all of these extra primaries coming out. Natty, saving it with just a pixel left here. Now a tough situation, but yeah, barrier beam's gonna be great to do it there. 3Z with just the willpower to get it in there with that dash punch, does get staggered away from the flip, but grabs the barrier in general. Okay, we actually have a water cannon coming out. 3Z ends up trying to give it to Cardbox. They didn't want to ride the water cannon out there, so that was pretty interesting.
A great strike from Bells, snatched it out of the water cannon, and now going for a play with the banish on the net. Gets the barrier, trying to get it to play into the goal. Isn't able to find it. Cannon comes through, but no, a missed strike means they don't get to capitalize on that cannon play.
Yeah, that was really close. 3Z almost had a nice dash punch there right at the end as well. Tough situation here with the anomaly, but they do end up getting out here. Vaughn has flip. Bells on the front side, gets stunned. Nice secondary there from Natty. Now sending over the path splitter to block that top side. A banish on to their own forward is going to make it so Natty gets kind of 2v1 there. Yeah, that was rough.
He just really walked there. he just walked and struck. Yeah, that was 900 movement speed.
I believe it, bro. That he has got good movement. He's got full stack. He's got 2 other speed awakenings there. I mean,
and then the drum and bass in the background.
Right. Really great game there from S.A.D.B.O.I.S, picking their map and doing quite well on it there. Cosmic Calamities didn't look too bad though. They got a couple of scores there. Even had one of their sets, so not too bad though in this 3-1. I don't feel like the momentum was so out of control for them even after their first series today, so glad to see that they're not just like in the dumps here. But we're going on their map next here, which is going to be Night Market. A lot going on at Night Market, way less volatile, but still, you got to be in the right mindset to grab the speed gate right in the middle. So yeah, all on this next game here, as they really got to take it to stay alive.
Yeah, and I'm taking a look at the stats from this game. Bells with 220 redirects, nearly 100 more than 3Z, and this is pretty much just coming down to the fact that it is peak performance, plus stacks, fully stacked up, and then drum and bass. you just get to be everywhere. You don't have to play in the brawler position at that point. You can just play positionless Omega Strikers. You can be wherever you want. You want to come back and help? Sure, because you can get to the other side of the map in a matter of 2 seconds. Strike the ball once, you got 800 million movement speed, you will be wherever you need to be. So Bell's just able to participate in every interaction that happened that game. And this is just more to show the power of speed in Omega Strikers, right? Typically, you don't see the brawler with the most redirects ever. And
Yeah, sure.
when you have that much speed, sure, you can do whatever you want.
Facts. Honestly, like seeing like the highest redirects there on the forward is definitely like a real indicator of what was going on in that game. Bells was all over the place with that really great speed. And yeah, like you were saying, speed is definitely like the best stat in strikers for the best players. Now it's because it's a hard stat to use because you have complete control, you have every decision to make, and it just like enhances your decision making. So as long as you are making good decisions, you are unstoppable. So speed is definitely like the assist best stat there, and we see it right there from Bells getting all those redirects. I mean, even those redirects are giving you experience and everything too. So a
Yep.
lot of energy coming out as well. So great work there from S.A.D.B.O.I.S being a really good team. And now, like we said, we have another game coming up for Night Market. A pretty basic map here. Everyone knows about Night Market. We'll see if Cosmic Calamities can bring this one back here. This is their pick, right? This is their pick. So we want to see some grand improvement. Maybe they get some, I don't know, incredible character choices here. What do you think?
So taking a look at this map, Night Market is a map that you have the Night Market comp as well. Less popular now, but for those who are unaware, the Night Market comp is usually Era plus two brawlers, something that we don't see as often these days, but it's something that is available for teams to pick. I don't think I've seen Calamities play it as much. I could be wrong. And then you also just have the typical Era kitten comp, right? The Mako Era plus brawler
Hmm.
is something that people tend to favor more on this map than other maps. I would say this is still a map that favors Rune quite a bit because you can still do that patrolling up and down the midfield while also having access to that speed gate. Because of the way you have so much speed and plus that speed gate, you can get to where you need fast enough to place your pillar down at the correct position. So it always feels like you're able to catch every rebound as Rune while sitting in the midfield line. So it's very frustrating to play against when you are against a good Rune player who has a little bit of speed, especially if they have like a Siege Machine or Timeless Creator. Those pillars just stay forever. So I think Rune Pillar or Rune in general will still be a priority pick. Oh, but taking a look at the comps here, we have Castellas plus Fighter Flight. This is really interesting to see. So rightfully so, banning away the Octavia, which is one of Cardbox's signature picks here. We don't want to let them have it for free with that Castellas. Looking at everything else, Calamities bans away the Mako. No more Mako. No more kittening. No more spacebar holding. No drum and bass. Enough of that. So instead, boys will lock in the alternate Mako, which is Atlas. the two premier melee goalies coming through. Zentaro Aimi picked up over for Calamities instead. Juliet, and now we're just thinking of the midfielder for Vaughn. And it's going to be Juno. Okay, so no sort of kittening happening today. Just pretty standard comps with a melee goalie for S.A.D.B.O.I.S and then a Finny. I'm actually not sure who's going to play what where, but I think Finny goalie tends to be more preferred over the Finny midfield. So I'm just going to assume it's going to be Finny goalie with Cardbox on the Aimi midfield.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. We definitely do see a little bit more Finny goalie these days, and this is like a pretty powerful comp here coming out from Cosmic Calamities. I mean, Zentaro, lots of damage. Amy can do tons of damage too, and Finny from the back line, constantly just sending all of those misdirects back and forth. So this is like a real big damage comp, and we don't really have a super big damage awakening start. Like Castellast is yeah, I mean, do I respect the Octavia pick? I don't care what elo you guys are. Man, do I respect the Octavia pick no matter what's going on. Not trying to deal with that. And yeah, like you said, Carbox definitely has like a pretty main deck Octavia here. But we do have sort of a counter comp, right? We have Atlas to try to keep people alive through this onslaught that they might be ensuing here with the Juliet and Juno. I mean, Juliet is pretty vulnerable to getting beat up. Not a lot of movement going on here. So she's going to have a tough time traversing the board. Though we do have on Night Market, though it's nice to have the speed gate for characters like Juliet and characters like X, who just really do lack that movement. Like they're not like Centauro where they have a dash or a blink, but you do get a lot more board presence with the speed gate as long as you are using it to your advantage here. So we'll see if Cosmic Calamities can land a lot of these kills, because that looks like what they want to be doing right now. We even see a siphoning wand there from Breezy. No jokes right now, no prisoners either, as we have 6 fighter flights. We also have 3 magnetized souls. And yeah, the wand, I mean, on Breezy, they're ready to kill. This is looking like what they want to do.
The wand is a risky pick here because, oh my goodness, immediately with the dash punch, B.O.I.S holding nothing back there, finds the exact spot to get the KO. And I'll take a quick detour to explain a little bit how Juliet works on this map. Is your midfielder wants to keep the ball as close to the edge as possible rather than passing it directly to your brawler. If you can keep the ball going towards the edge, then the brawler can kind of patrol alongside. Oh my goodness, quick point over for S.A.D.B.O.I.S. But the Juliet kind of just wants to patrol where you're sending the ball to, and is just hovering over the strike war between the 2 midfielders and sometimes the brawler, because the moment you go for a strike, you're locked into that animation. You cannot evade, and that is when the Juliet comes out of hiding during Shark Week, smells the blood, comes out, and goes for that dash punch.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So it's like a real good... It's like a bait, really, right? Like the midfielder will just like kind of send the ball at the wall, and Juliet's just waiting for somebody to go get it, and she just jumps out of there and
exactly
just gets a kill with that dash punch. Yeah, we used to see a lot of pummelers onto Juliet, but even trying to get the magnetized souls here for more control is like pretty great, as they're gonna get that flip right on past Natty there. Really tough situation on the front side, and it's gonna be another point here for S.A.D.B.O.I.S. And man, Fight or Flight is a really strong awakening for for everyone, but more so on all of the forwards, right? As the goalie, it feels kind of overwhelming sometimes when both of the midfielders are fight or flighting all over the place, and you are having a tough time. So I think a lot of the control is going to be how we get these 2v1s going in the midfield.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the fight or flight is also, especially with the siphoning wand here, is going to be giving way more secondaries to everyone. Whether you're the Zentaro breaking someone's stagger, or you're the one being staggered, you're going to keep getting those extra secondaries. So it's just more abilities being used all over the place. You can see Threezy's getting bounced around, Vaughn's getting bounced around. Threezy trying to get the orb over there, and is just trying to live at this moment here. But it's like a, oh my goodness, it is just a brawl happening here on Night Market, as Threezy the first one to go on this point. But the pressure is on, and you know, one of the things here, and this is the point that you were making, Envy, is when you're the goalie and all this fight or flight is happening, being the Atlas is definitely more comforting than being the Finny. When everyone is in your face and using all these abilities and everyone's moving so fast, at least Atlas can just press secondary and then take a breath, whereas Finny doesn't have that same luxury.
Yeah, it's true. Finny is definitely susceptible to getting kind of overwhelmed by a lot of like point-blank, close quarters combat, basically. She does not have a lot of things to stuff right on front, but we do finally have a kill here for Cosmic Calamities, taking out Vaughn. A flip from Y'all to stall a little bit of time there, though. They do have this power play, see if they can finally get it, and they do nicely. Getting a nice pass up to Threezy there. Cardbox does, and they do grab their first point here. I would imagine that as this game goes on, and the like we were saying, Finny gets like kind of overwhelmed by things like fight or flight and a lot of speed getting on top of her. But this team does have a lot of kill potential. Like there's who's missing from this kill comp? I mean, they have the Finny goalie along with fight breakers, right? Like who is missing from this damage? Really, like nobody. Like this is a really good damage comp, and I want to see them try to play it out as best as they can, and they need to confirm a lot of these kills. We see B.O.I.S is already staggered, and it's kind of their job to now get and finish the job.
Yeah, one of the issues is, or I shouldn't say, they have the damage on Calamities here. They have plenty of damage, don't get me wrong, but confirming the kills is definitely going to be one of the harder things. You'd expect that it'd be relatively easy for Zentaro to confirm these kills, but you'd be surprised that when you don't have access to your ultimate on Zentaro, it's quite difficult when everyone's moving this fast to actually land your abilities in a way that would confirm the KO.
Gotcha, yeah, true, and everyone is getting their secondaries as well, so that could make things a little bit more awkward there. Natty does survive that dash punch just a minute ago, which was pretty incredible. Flurry tries to get a nice dribble there, though, but foiled by Breezy being in the right spot there. Okay, now
oh my goodness, overtime.
Yeah, overtime is a little bit rough here, though. Natty is really kind of, a little 2v1 there from Vaughn and Bells. The ultimate from Finny, hard to make good use of in that spot. You don't get to blow it up instantly. It doesn't always pull the ball exactly where you need it to. It's Finny is really a ranged goalie, like through and through, and she has a
Yep.
lot of great range potential. But man, right when you're on top of her, it becomes, it's like, it's like throw secondary behind me because I just have nothing left.
Okay, so taking a look at this draft here, we get the hot shot denied over from Juno. You don't want it, especially in this matchup. You don't want anything happening like that. A 1-2 punch also denied from Juno. I think what B.O.I.S did in particular, he probably wanted to take 1-2 punch, but was fine with taking size. But by leaving both 1-2 punch and hot shot up, it forces both the enemy teams to deny it. And if even one of them make it through, Juno is super happy about getting 1-2 punch or hot shot. So in this case, both denied away. Size goes over to B.O.I.S. You Already Lose takes the Among Titans, which rare pickup on goalie, something that we don't see that often. Opts in for more movement speed, but sacrifices some size here. Also allows B.O.I.S to get even larger. You can see that he's clearly the biggest character in the map. He's so much bigger than the Zentaro, but it also means he's a bigger target for all the damage that Calamities has. But let's see if he can manage to live. He's one of the best players in NASL when it comes to just surviving when staggered. So let's see if he can keep it up.
We'll certainly be seeing it as he just keeps taking a lot of damage. Can't really play all that much, but still really actually is maintaining a solid position here, even with no health. Let's see if they can confirm this kill, as we do have Y'all defending the barrier here from the top side. Cardbox and Natty both have flip 3Z. Not a ton of cooldowns now, as we have just missed a little bit here. B.O.I.S, again, weak and kind of off the board. They do end up finding that last barrier here, though, and man, the Finny cards from the back line, the misdirections helping with that core speed as well, and making things really difficult. We see the hot spot, or the hot shot landing on to Finny there, making those primaries just that more threatening, even when they just hit the ball. Now you actually have like primaries to hit the ball and to hit people.
Yep. Especially if you do end up hitting the ball, you have that cooldown reduction coming through. And if not, like just hitting the core in general, since it's so fast. And the thing with Finny primary is, well, yes, you can see the Finny throw it out if you're paying attention. Once it's already wound up, if you don't see the Finny initiate the primary, usually you can't react to the projectile coming at you because it's just too fast, right? It's like faster than like a Luna rocket or anything like that. So sometimes you're just like minding your own business, trying to do some strike wars, hanging out in the midfield, and then you just get smacked across the face with the with the primary, and you're like, come on, man.
Well named primary misdirection there. Not letting anybody know what's going on unless you're really watching her. We do see Vaughn and B.O.I.S both staggered here. Vaughn dodging 3Z Breezy there. Still keeping position. Ends up not hitting that strike. Trying to avoid damage in the process, though. 3Z has a nice 1v1 with Y'all right now. Has Slice and Dice to help it out through. Okay, Vaughn does get into position to help Y'all keep that last barrier. Strike war here from Cardbox and Y'all, but Cardbox does get the better of it here, and now they still have a barrier left. Cosmic Calamities. If 3Z Breezy can get on the front lines here with that flip, it will probably be a goal, even with a kill. Yeah, this is going to be, oh, insane. Insane secondary there from Atlas. Y'all is locked in right now, but unfortunately, it's just a little too much pressure in this power play that they're going to end up taking it. Cosmic Calamities looking for this next set.
Yeah, the ad rush coming through for 3Z Breezy once he picked up that KO onto Vaughn, had all the movement speed in the world for a few seconds there, and it was enough to maneuver around You Already Lose to get that KO, or to get the point onto the Atlas. And now they have a 2-0 lead in this set. If they can take this, they'll be tied up and have the momentum in their favor here, but B.O.I.S doesn't want to let that happen, is putting on some pressure on their net. As we see the reversal come out, the Firewall Sentry, both turrets both barriers are still up, so good job from S.A.D.B.O.I.S as they managed to keep it up. And it's 3Z who's actually quite low here. B.O.I.S manages to find both barriers, flips, stalls in front of the net, and then dash punches to score the point. One-man army there.
Yeah, really great from B.O.I.S. They're getting like a strike into a flurry, knocks that barrier there, flips, a dash punch, has it all right there. The whole kit, but used perfectly to get that point. Cosmic Calamity's still trying to work on this set, though. They really do need it. Grab it. Oh, that's not going to help, though. Natty, unfortunately, inking a barrier just for a moment there. Lots of slimes coming in, but not having too much of an effect here, though. Vaughn looking a little low right now, as 3Z is going to take the ball to the top side here. Slice and Dice almost kills Vaughn there, but not enough just yet. Firewall Sentry coming in hot. They do a really great job of redirecting this ball. Honestly, just playing around the Firewall Sentry pretty perfectly. 3Z Breezy got a ton of bars coming up right now, though. Secondary from Atlas is going to be just enough to basically nullify all of that pressure, and it's now we might see why Atlas is banned a lot of the time. I mean, it's kind of another fan favorite as a goalie here, though. We see it on card boxes, or not card boxes, sorry. We see it on Barcode a lot when they're playing as well.
Yeah, I mean, the defensive abilities of Atlas are just so... Like, forget being able to revive people and heal people with the ultimate. Just the two abilities that Atlas has, the Expanse and the Primary, is just too... It's such a good set of tools to deny everything. You can completely deny stuffing abilities. You can stop attacks before they even happen with the Primary. And the way that he synergizes so well with Creation Awakenings, with Missile Prop, with Twin Drive, with Rapid Fire, Prime Time, he gets to make use of Awakening so well. And while he manages to hold it down, it means his team can fly, and tying things up 2-2 in this set, the 2-0 lead that Calamities had. All in a way, they still have a chance to turn it over, but the momentum is in the favor of S.A.D.B.O.I.S.
Yeah, crazy dribble there from Bells, and actually got more, control of the ball again to get it right on through Natty there. Tough spot. As the Finny goalie with really no cooldowns, like you're using your cooldowns for damage a lot of the time and really trying to help the offensive pressure keep the ball forward, but you know, right when Juliet's on you dash punching, it's a really tough situation, and they're trying to push that as much as they can. Vaughn tries to go for a solo dolo passing play there. Doesn't seem to work out though, but 3Z Breezy still with flip. I feel like 3Z's got a lot of energy just all the time right now. Sends the flip, gets the dashing strike. Nice passive to get it on through. And all right, Cosmic Calamities looking good right now, keeping themselves alive.
Yeah, tying things up. Things going a little bit in the way of Cosmic Calamities. They had a bit of a detour before they got there, but taking a look at what we have access to here, and look at what is sitting in the top right corner for Zentaro. A nice diamond jewel going over to him for his troubles in that last set. Taking a look at everything else here, we have the extra special on to Julie. It's not the best pick for Juliet, it's not the worst, but it is also a deny over from both the Finny and the IME simultaneously, while the Juno gets the rapid fire. There wasn't really much else to take there on the Juliet. You could possibly take the Spark of Strength, but I think the deny of Happy Star is more important than taking the Spark of Strength for yourself, even if it means getting Spark started.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Not too much other landing on the other characters. Our card box denying the Spark from Vaughn as well, which is acceptable here. Natty getting some extra secondaries. But yeah, huge for 3Z here to grab perfect form on their first pick. Well rewarded, and then gets kind of slaughtered by y'all's astral projection there with a little bit of help. It's going to be a power play from BOIS, and Bells makes quick work of this point with a little bit of extra size, and a primary is going to be enough to stun both players, get the ball on in there, and clean point from S.A.D.B.O.I.S there.
And there's so many small things that I want to point out, like with how Bells just played that point. If you take a look, if you could go back and see what he did, he doesn't punch once the core is in his vicinity. He punches before because he knows the lingering hitbox is going to last long enough so he can hit stun the goalie and the midfielder, and then eventually, while they're hit stunned and the lingering hitbox is still up, the core will then go into the into the box and score. And it's all these small things that it's like when you're just watching and paying, just like trying to enjoy the game, you don't notice all these small interactions that the top players do to maximize their scoring potential, or just the small intricate plays they make. I just wanted to give him some props for.
No, yeah, it's good to let everyone know like what's going on, how exactly this Juliet is working here though. And Bells, it feels like Bells is really trying to go for the kills, and not exactly the core. It gets out of the way as well, but we do have Vaughn coming in hot here with that point for S.A.D.B.O.I.S again, and it's looking a little tough here for Cosmic Calamities if S.A.D.B.O.I.S can manage to take this next set. But we have a lot of pressure here though. All three players on the top side here. Bells now finally getting involved and grabs up their first barrier as well. Okay, Bells, they could have probably had that barrier with a Fiery Flurry of 1 second earlier, but no problem, as they're happy to grab at least one. And now it's just Juliet against Finny, and that's basically an unwinnable situation with that close quarters, and y'all having no problem keeping both of these barriers alive. And maybe we just need a little bit more of this, like, positional teamwork from Cosmic Calamities, or maybe a little extra passing plays to get around, but because it feels like S.A.D.B.O.I.S just has a ton of control.
Yeah, and Bell's doing a good job there to deny the strike shot from Natty to keep the ball up. Has the ball in front of the net. And oh my goodness, I did not expect that angle to go through for the ultimate there, but manages to send it through. No one was really ready for that. And that is 3-0 for this fourth set, or sorry, third set. Yeah. Going over to S.A.D.B.O.I.S.
Yeah, it is get a little awkward there when Juliet has the ball in her ult, and she gets to move, and that just changes the angle on the ball there, and the Juliet player gets to kind of pick where it's going to go, and that was the most awkward angle, clearly, and it was a good pick there, so well played there from Bells, and we're going to have Vaughn grab Stagger Swagger, a little bit more extra speed, timeless for the Atlas, quite good. Finny getting even more speed, that's just what she's known for, heavy impact, really good on Juliet, helping out the... I'm pretty sure that Dash Punch both count as impacts. She gets her cooldown there nicely. And even if not, I mean, that's a ton of extra knockback as well. Easier to kill, almost as good as having 1-2 punch. They're easy, though, getting explosive entrance as well. What a really powerful Zentaro build we're looking at here. And Cardbox grabbing Monumentalist, which is fine. And man, already just so much pressure that both barriers are down right now. Bell's almost grabbing it again with that Dash Punch. Okay, now y'all... Again, it feels like every time that Cosmic Calamities has like a bunch of pressure, it's instantly nullified by the Expanse, and that is just what you were saying before. Atlas's primary and secondary 2 moves are just so damn good.
Yeah, and one of the things that we're seeing so much of is all the cooldown reduction that Bells has built up here between the Demolition, the extra special, and the heavy impact. And remember, heavy impact works regardless of if the move is impact or not when it comes to the cooldown reduction. So the cooldown reduction does not matter if it is coming from a impact ability. So we're seeing constantly these dash punches come through and then paired with another dash punch a few seconds later, and then an ultimate and then something else, and a nice punch gets it in between the triple take. I was so surprised that he manages to find that through. It does not get stopped at all, and just squeezing it between the pulses of the triple take there.
Super good timing. Just another example of how Finny just has an even harder time when things get a little too close to her. She just wants to keep herself at the longest range they possibly can, and we do have another kill here from S.A.D.B.O.I.S, even though I was saying, man, Cosmic Calamities has the damage, they have the kills, they have the moves, but it really is S.A.D.B.O.I.S with the coordination of making these kills happen even earlier before just getting staggers. Like, the Juliet might just be the ticket here to getting them off the map, and almost again possibly living because of the goalie arc, allowing a less knockback to be taken there. And then again, we have Finny. Oh my gosh, insane amount of damage. They have nothing. They just, at this exact moment, they have nothing. They got flipped. They got AoE'd. It was... They had no health. They had no goalie. I mean, S.A.D.B.O.I.S is a train, and they are getting hit by it.
Yeah, and all the damage that's coming through, keep in mind that it's not the Atlas that's contributing to the damage, right? It's just between the two characters of Juno and mostly the Juliet, where all this damage is coming through, because when going for these shots on net, Bells is using his abilities at the same time. He doesn't use his abilities to deal damage unless he knows he can get a KO. Otherwise, he's usually using his abilities at the same time to hit the core and the enemy. Oh my goodness, and there's an example of that, right? If you can confirm a KO, go for it. Otherwise, he tends to use his abilities to deal damage and try to break a barrier or score at the same exact time, which is why we get to see an onslaught from S.A.D.B.O.I.S. They're the ones with the KOs constantly. They're not even taking the damage awakenings. It is, if you just hold tab and take a look at the awakenings that Calamities has: Adrenaline Rush, Siphoning Wand, Perfect Form, Explosive Entrance, 1-2 Punch, Spark of Strength, Glass Cannon, Twin Drive on Natty. One team drafted all damage awakenings. They're the team that that got KO'd more.
Absolutely. Yeah, it feels like Cosmic Calamities certainly had the damage numbers to make staggers happen, that's for sure. But Juliet is a different beast when it comes to knocking people off the map. And I mean, on Night Market, you have this solid thing in the middle. You can't really pass all the time, so you're kind of dueling against Juliet when you're trying to pass midfield some of the time. And even if you just take a little damage from, like, let's say Vaughn hits you with a primary and then you step on the blob, I mean, you're now at half. Juliet is like, yo, I'm gonna ult, and if you dodge this, I'm gonna dash punch. And it's like really tough to deal with, and we saw Bells take insane advantage of all of these positions and getting all these kills. And it's only been 6 kills, but like, the game wasn't super long, and those were meaningful kills each time. It felt like pivotal situations where those where those were happening. So honestly, Bells felt really good in that game, and y'all honestly as well, just like well-timed expanses to just nullify all of the offensive pressure that Calamity had there, and that's just a good gameplay. That they are a train. That good. That was nice.
Yeah, clean gameplay from S.A.D.B.O.I.S. That means Calamities is out of playoffs, coming in as second seed, unable to make it through with 2 chances, unfortunately. But that means S.A.D.B.O.I.S. is moving on. They're not out of it yet. They still have to continue playing if they want to make their way over to the finals. They have, I believe, 2 more rounds that they have to win. I could be wrong. It could be a 3rd round as well. But they have to keep winning if they want to make it through, and they don't have a second chance at all. But that's going to be it for this match. We're going to be sending it over to the next match in a second after the break.